What's up everyone, welcome to the 11-part series where I'm going to be going throughout the entire Burp Suite tool and talking about each and every tab. I'm spreading this series out into 11 parts for one main reason, and that is because it's easy for you to switch in between parts, but it's hard for me to edit, a 30-minute long video talking about every single feature. So I split it up into 11 parts for me to be able to edit and get out faster to you guys. Along with that, we're probably not going to talk about the collaborator tab too much because it's only available for Burp Suite Professional and I'm not paying that kind of money for this. So let's go ahead and jump right into the dashboard and talk about it. Up here we have the top right section of the dashboard. This is only available for Pro, so it's really not much use to you, but if you have Pro, what it will show is some of the possible vulnerabilities of an application. As you can see here, we have OS command injection. It gives you some information about it and gives you some CVEs for it. I'm sorry, that's not a CVE, that's a CWE. You can also break down the request, the response, all kinds of other stuff. Down here is the event log. What this will basically do is just tell you everything that you're running and doing. And for the task window, it's pretty simple. You can start a new task or whatever, and you can also see all the current running tasks. And a task is something of the sort of like a scan or something, I don't know, just something running in the background really. Say for example, I'm using the sequencer to compare a bunch of different tokens. That would be a task. So say for example, I'm starting to intercept some FlowGPT request. The dashboard is going to start showing a bunch of different things coming through. Here you can see we have some debug information that we captured some requests. And you can see in this live passive crawl, which is all the proxy traffic that's going through, we have 96 items to the sitemap. And of course, NewScan is only available for Pro or whatever. So, little recap, only available for Pro. This is where you break down that that possible vulnerability that the application may have. Here we have the event log where we can see everything that's going on. And here we can see all of the live and active tasks, and we can also search for them using this. Pretty simple. That's just a basic overview of how the dashboard works. Let's go ahead and move into the target. So the target and proxy are probably my two favorite ones. Target is one of my favorite ones because you can literally just very easily organize all the different requests. So you can see /chat is an endpoint. And then I can also separate the actual API endpoints versus the Google Analytics, and I don't have to sift through them constantly just looking for that endpoint. This really easily just separates everything so I can get all the proper information that I need. This is just a list of things that that Burp Suite can actually find, but it doesn't really matter because none of us probably have Pro. But something that is really useful to everyone is filtering. You can click this little tab up here and you have all of these different options. It may seem crazy, but it's pretty simple. First off, you can filter by request. You can show only in-scope items, show only requested items, show only parameterized, that's a big word, request. And you can also just show hide not found items. You'll more than likely want to uncheck all of them unless you have something that, unless you have a scope or you have requested items. As you can see, you can hide all or you can show all. Usually just stick to show all if you're doing very basic things. You can filter by type, so if you only want different kinds of JSON files, you would probably stick to only script or other text. As you can see in this request here, we get a JSON response, but we don't get any of the other nasty stuff that we don't need. Down here you can filter by status code. It just goes through 200, 300, 400, and 500. If you know your basic server requests responses, then you'll be pretty familiar with this. If you only want requests that succeed and that work and send an actual response, you can only do 200s. If you want to see all of the different errors, you can do redirection, request error, and server error. Or if you want to see all of them, just click all of them. And the last thing most people will probably need is the filter by file extension. This is of course really self-explanatory. If you only want to see a certain kind of file, do show only these files. And really all it is they're separated by commas. So if I also want to do only show JSON and PHP files, I would do something of that sort. What if I want to add JS files in there, PNG files? So I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Down here in this inspector area, whenever you choose a request, you can see the request and the response. And over here you can go even deeper into each of the request attributes, queries, cookies, headers, and response headers. All you can get all of them. If you did want to set a scope, you can go to scope settings here and then add a URL. So say you're using a Burp Suite attack to attack a bug bounty of yours, but you only can attack certain URLs. To make sure you stay in those parameters, you can only add the URLs that that the company is willing to let people test, and all the other ones will automatically be filtered. That's a way, if you're doing bug bounties, you can really easily, cut down on a lot of requests pretty fast. And that's going back into filter by request type. If you only wanted to show those requests, show only in scope items. Overall, let's go through one last overview before I end the video. In the dashboard, you have this pro version where you can find different kinds of possible vulnerabilities with an application, and down here you can see the exact response and requests and everything that went on with that possible vulnerability. Here we have the event log where it logs all the different events going on, and here is the task list with any task running. You can see in here, or you can search for a certain task. Back to the target tab, we can see the sitemap with all of the different endpoints and different URLs that we're hitting. You can set some scope settings by going up here to scope settings. You can also filter all of the URLs that get passed through using the filter. Here is where you can break down the request and see what was actually sent to and from the server. And here you can see all of the each and every individual query, cookie, whatever. With all that being said, if you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I think I did a pretty good overview, hitting everything that you might need as getting into any kind of API reverse engineering or just hacking or cybersecurity in general. Burp Suite is a really good tool to use and have in your pocket. In the next part, we will be talking about the proxy tab, where you can see and mess with all of the different requests, along with intercept each request on its own before it gets sent to the server. If you like these videos and you want to see more, please join my Discord, show this video some love. We have a bunch of cool stuff in the Discord. With all that being said, I really appreciate all of you guys' support, and I will see you guys in the next part where we talk about the proxy.